Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Picking up today where I left off, I'm going to take a couple of bolts out right here. These two 17s and loosen this 18 probably. And get this old cable out. I got a 10 millimeter over there. Take it loose from the zip tie here. Take it loose from there. And thread this replacement cable in. Spraying it a few times, not getting it loose. So I'm going to hit it with some heat. Come here, Sam. Heated it up for about a minute and a half. Vice grip still couldn't turn that thing out. So I took a 1/4 inch extension. Looks like a 6 inch. Put it down in that hole, got it in the center, and punched it out. Boy, that was tight. Now let me get that 10 millimeter over there. Undo these zip ties here. I took my pocket knife, stuck it down in there, released the catch and the zip ties. Took them loose, popped the cable out. Now I'm going to get that 10 out, take that suspension down over there. Well, made another mistake. Didn't hit this with PB Blaster or heat. Put a tool on it, turned it, it's rusted, it broke off. So, that's not going to be nice. I could take that bracket off. That appears to hold the shock down, so I could take those two bolts out from the bottom, lift that up and out of there, and put a screw in there or get one from the salvage yard to replace it. I'll think about that another day. I'm a zip tie it for today. Let me go ahead and knock these 17s loose, see if it'll let my cable out of here. Cable's like jammed up over that piece. Taking those bolts loose, did let this cable loose from there, and man, rust came out of there. I better be careful when tightening those bolts up. I don't want to bust those off. With those two 17s loose, I could not get the cable out. I had to loosen that 18 a turn or two. Now the cable's out. Boy, I don't know what's going on with this rear brake line stuff here. That looks nasty. Oh, how nice. The bump stop is also busted loose on this thing over here. That's supposed to be plugged into the bottom of that. Interesting. Can't get my cable through this hole. Must be some rust buildup in there. I'm going to try to find my file and file that clean so my cable end will go through it. Right now it's getting stuck. Having a hard time getting the cable through. Tapping on it and everything. On the other side, the head of this 1/4 inch extension goes through there easy. On this side it didn't. So I put it up there, tapped it through. Now I'm going to try to put the cable through again. Ran a drill in a hole a few times. Then I filed the edges of the cable. Just a little bit. Knocked a little bit of the edges off of the cable. And I got it through. Let me find the pieces to hook up to it. Dog leg and the pin. I pushed the cable in and I'm going to use the clip I got from the salvage yard here on the left. Looks a little bit better shape. I got that cable pulled through. Now I'm going to spread that open so I can get it on that dog leg. The dog leg has some arrow in there that says up. I assume that means up toward the sky. So I'm going to hook it up like that. Show you where I'm at here in a second. I got a standard zip tie and a jumbo zip tie. Should be good to go. Pull your cable out. Make sure your dog leg is going to fit in there. And once you get that fitting in there, you slide it in there. Slide this down in here like this. Fit that thing on your dog leg. And put the pin in it. And then you should be good to go. I got the pin in it. I'm going to put it in like that. Load it up here. And push the cable in. So it can fall in place. Went up to the other end of the cable, pulled it in. I am good to go. Dog legs inserted. Now let me put the brake shoes and hardware on. Had to push the cable in a little bit to collapse my dog leg here You see the end of the cable sticking out right there. Now I could put the brake shoes on. I couldn't do it with the cable pulled in too far because it was pushing out the brake shoe. These are not touching, so I was a little concerned that that wasn't going to be good enough, but the rotor did slide over that. I need to clean these rotors out. That is not going to be good for the parking brake sitting on there. Good Lord, I didn't even notice that. Find a wire brush. Brush those out. Wow. Crazy part is, I had a set of these rotors somewhere. Don't know what I did with them. Let me run these up to the shop. Run a wire wheel in there because I don't have a wire wheel here. Here we go, folks. Going to try to finish up this brake job. You know, the hardest thing about working on this big stuff like this is every time I need to run an errand, get a tool, take a break, I got to pack everything in the car, secure it, and then go. Then get back, got to unpack everything to get back on it. Anyway, I had to go to the store, get a couple of tools so I could finish this job. So let me get the tools, unpack everything I need to unpack, and get cracking. Last thing I did was fitted the rotor drum over this hub, make sure that it went over the parking brakes, and found all that crud inside the rotor. So I was going to go to the shop and clean it out with their tool there, but I decided to get a tool of my own in case I run into this again. I got the tools with me. I don't really like how close to the edge that spring is. See how far that one's in? That kind of make me feel uncomfortable, but I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. Anyway, let me grab the rotor, clean it up. I see that the pin is broke off in there. Probably need new rotors, but anyway, I'm gonna hit this stuff with a wire wheel that I bought, and I'm going to put some grease on it and then put the rotor on. Put the grease on this part, not the part the pads are going to grab on. Picked up a wire wheel set, goes in a normal drill. Some will use this in my impact, so I got a drill impact connector, but it will take a chuck from any kind of drill bit, these things right there. And then I got an extractor set. The guy at Home Depot claims this is the best one you could buy, and I'm going to replace Elizabeth's extractor that I broke. Then I'll have 3 others. Let me get cracking on cleaning this stuff off with the wire wheel. Got some gloves and a mask and eye protection. I've seen these little metal wires just fly right off of those things, so make sure you have good eye protection, good gloves. Interesting, I don't see an adjustment hole in the rotor, so it will have to be adjusted through the bolt hole right there of the hub. So let me try to get something with a hook on there to adjust that adjustment screw until this will not move, but these lug nuts that's holding the rotor on is definitely stopping it from turning all the way around. So I just gotta adjust it till this quits moving and then back it off a little bit. Some kind of hook screwdriver. I adjusted until it was almost too hard to wiggle, and then I pulled it back one adjustment. So this side should be good. Let's go do the other side. Uh-oh, I hit this first bolt with the impact, sheared right off. Horrible, horrible. I'm going to pull that one out with my breaker bar and break this one loose. I can't afford to break any more bolts. Gosh dang it. I'm literally flabbergasted. That one broke too. I didn't know you're supposed to put heat on these big bolts too, man. This is ridiculous. So I got 2 bolts broke off on this little toe adapter thing. I assume it also holds this suspension piece up here. You got a bolt here, 17 there, 17 there, and this 18 here. I am blown away. So I'm gonna drop this down, heat these up, see if I get these bolts out of here. That's horrible. I'm looking at this. I don't know if this is a post and a bolt inside of here or what. I'm totally confused. My bet is there's a bolt in this post, and this post is all the way rusted out. Let me go check this stuff out on the other side. Man, I am blown away. So I got a bolt broke off there. This bolt broke off here, but I don't know if this is a post or what. Jeez Louise. Then I tried to screw the nut off of the brake cable hold down, and it sheared right off, even after brushing it and putting PB Blaster on it. Man, there's just so much stuff on this car that's rusted out. Messing with these parking brakes is like opening Pandora's box. If I didn't realize it before, I realize it now. I can't unscrew nothing on this car on the exterior without heating it up. It's got to be red hot or I can't touch it. That, I don't know if that was weak enough for the brake or not, or if heating it up would have mattered. I really doubt heating this up would have mattered, because that thing is rusted as bad as my post was. I think this is a post, and then the bolt goes up in there. That looks like all one under the ocean crustacean. So this bracket here that has that screw post come through it can be taken off that donor car in the salvage yard. I don't know about this. I would like to get that one bolt out, because I think you really do need 3 bolts into this, holding this plate in place. I'm not too much worried about this. This is more like a, jacking point than it is supporting this suspension. I think these 3 bolts support the suspension. So I will have 2 right now as it stands. And this jacking point, I'm not that concerned about, although it does hold this brake line in position. So I could pull the 2 bolts off the bottom of this shock here. Those don't look too bad. And take that piece up out of there, because I think that piece is the piece that holds the shocks in. So looks like the shock's been replaced once, so those are probably not original bolts on that. But I would heat them up before I take them off, because I don't want to be in this position again. So that come off just a couple of seconds. I could push that out maybe, or drill it out, put a screw and nut in there, or just go grab one out of the salvage yard. How do you like that? I already get to put this through the test. Comes in a nice little kit. Alright, I'll find the one that I think will be best. I'll snap it in my impact. I'll drill a hole with the one side, see if it'll come out with the other side after I heat that thing up. Started with a 5/64, went up to a 1/8, went up to a 5/32. So I got a decent hole in there now. That thing's about a 1/4 inch deep. I'm gonna go ahead and heat that thing up for about 2 minutes with my torch. Then I'm gonna put this extractor on it. Well, that didn't happen. So I'm going to jack up the car, move the jack stand, pull that bolt out, let that suspension drop down a little bit, see if I could get something else on this bolt to get it to come out. I'm going to heat that bolt up before I pull it out, because I can't have it breaking off too. But man, I had smoke coming out the back of the car, going up through this fender well, coming out back by the tilt. Cut about a 1/2 inch of this off, and a piece of the bolt came out and the sleeve broke off. I don't know where that stuff is. Anyway, I just drilled a hole in it. I'm gonna try to back it out with one of these easy outs, and man, that would be good if that comes out. Done for the night. I've cut 2 pieces off, broke off one easy out, trying to get this thing where I could get the rest of that bolt out. So I'm gonna knock it off for the night. It's getting late. don't want to be destructive, and I'll start this off tomorrow morning, trying to finish up the parking brake job, turning into a freaking night. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.